About 1980, I believe it was, they came to the church. They had called 3 or 4 churches in the local area and didn't get a response from them, and so they called us, and we welcomed them with open arms, and they came in to check us out and found out we were what we professed to be, and so they began to come to the church, and they came to the church for several years, and being as far as it was, they quit going to our church and started a local church. In the ministry here at the Galilean home, we have had several services here. Of course, I have buried some of them and married some of them, and it has been a real delight in being part of their operation here, because we have seen what they were doing over the years and know that it was really something of God, and so we was wholeheartedly for them and involved in the ministry. I think the heartbeat of the ministry is certainly for kids, for boys and girls. They have brought them in from many different countries, and I have a camp that I operate in Somerset, and they have brought so many boys and girls to our camp. Give you one example, we had one boy, 16 years old, that came to the camp and was baptized there in the creek that runs through the camp, and was saved and baptized. And he went back to where he came from, to Honduras. A couple of years after that, we went to Honduras with some of the Galilean homes, especially Brother Tucker, in order to build a church. And when we were building the church, a certain boy came to me and said, "Would you talk to my mother?" He had learned English. And so I went to talk to his mother and said, "Will you tell her that I was saved and baptized at your camp, that she might let me be a member of her church?" So the ministry in the Galilean home has reached almost around the world. We've met them from Honduras, Guatemala, Mexico, many of them from Mexico, and we know that the work that they're doing is a very good work. Well, there have been some of the children that have gone through the Galilean home. One that I'll mention, he's on crutches, and he is now a youth minister in a large Assembly of God church in New York. And so that was one thing that we have seen that is a real result of the home here. And then I think one of the greatest things, maybe not the greatest, but one of them is the Born Free ministry. They go to prisons where that kids or babies are born and there's nobody to take care of them. They are actually almost cast out, and they have brought in, I don't know how many in the years past, and still today have many babies in their ministry. And then they have others that cannot even feed themselves, and they turn no one away. And this is really a heartbeat of the ministry here. They used to, when Sister Tucker was alive, they went to many churches, and they would share the good news of Jesus Christ. They would sing for them. They would do what they could. And it's sad to say that they have been in some churches that they were not welcome because of the children they had. But most churches welcome them and will welcome them back. And so they have been an outreach in many churches. I know they'd go some places and be up all night in order to get there, and then to sing and to testify, and then come back home the next day. So they've been a real example in many churches across the nation. Well, they have a Christian school, which is a school that always brings in religious affiliations, and they have things that, books that they have wrote. Sister Tucker wrote 3 or 4 books. They have tapes, and they have other things that reaches out to the community and to the nation, actually, and they are doing this in a very great way. The very first thing that you can do, and everybody can do, regardless of money. We always think about money. Money does make things go around, we know that. But the very best that could be done would be pray for the ministry. Because Brother Tucker is alone with, as far as his wife is concerned, they have 2 daughters, and they are doing a tremendous job in running things, keeping it going. But the greatest thing that people can do is pray for the ministry, because prayer is one of the greatest things. The Bible talks about our prayers being bottled up. And so if they pray, not only can they receive a blessing here, but they can receive a blessing in the world to come. and then they can give. Now, so many times people have a feeling that I've got, $10 a month that's extra, but they don't need that, not a ministry like this. If enough people send in $10 a month, they will keep the ministry alive. And so pray and then give. You can give in several different ways. You can give of yourself, you can give of money, you could give of things that they might possibly need. They have a newsletter they send out every month, and in this letter tells of things that is needed, such as baby food, diapers, and things of that nature. So there's many ways that they can contact the ministry and help out. And we also know that you can call and say, is there a need? And if there is a need, then they will tell you and help out in that way. Because I love the Lord. He saved me, called me into the ministry, and I realized that the harvest is great. And Jesus said the laborers are few. I'm 78 years old, and people say, why don't you retire? I have no intention of retiring. I still want to support the Galilean home and do all that I can for the Galilean home, and they help us, not in financial ways. I'm not talking about just being part of their ministry helps us. And so I do what I'm doing that others might know about Jesus Christ. I don't think so. I think the idea of praying for the ministry and visiting the ministry, that is a tremendous thing. If people will visit and see what they have children that are bedfast, that cannot feed themselves. And we think sometimes, well, you only do this because of the money. No, they get no money from the state, and all that they get is what is donated. And as a board member, we certainly appreciate that so very much.